Hello, welcome back to Actual Play Apocalypse Keys. We have our amazing characters, Ember, Celine, and Civ, and now we're going to find out about the division. So yeah,
Yeah,
how's that work, Jamie?
exactly. So, what I would like is for us to just go all around and offer something a little bit that's true about our branch of division. Uh, we can state any truths we like about division in so doing. Um, so far it's been really fun. It's been very varied, which I really like. So does anyone have a strong idea they want to start with? I could also start first, but I'd love to see what the group comes up with without me influencing it. Like maybe Sean, do you have an idea?
I do.
Ooh.
The division, through powers of time, manipulation, or prophecy, have foreseen the end of the universe. Or the end of the world. It is not a possibility, it's a certainty unless it's stopped. And so they will do anything they can to stave off this dark future that they have already seen, that's already, yeah, that they've already witnessed.
Cool. Bless you. But yeah, so is
Oh, I didn't
there
realize my mic
like
was on. I'm sorry.
no,
Oh,
it's
no
okay.
worries.
It's okay. No worries. So because they're absolutely sure and they're certain, is there something like, is there uh, a person of authority? Is there a whole group of oracles and psychics who see this clearly? Is there a
I like the
child who
idea.
just paints it? Hmm.
I like the idea of a group of oracles. I think a little bit like the Minority Report sort of thing, except for like not people stuck in tubes, but that the like a gross unnecessary element. The oracles can have free will and mobility and all that, but I think that there are three oracles, and they no, let's say five oracles, and the number of oracles that predict something indicates the likelihood of it coming. And so if like one predicts it, then it's, then if even one predicts it, then they will, like, it is accounted, like it is a noted thing. Sometimes they have conflicting predictions, because of, time space is uncertain. But this is the only event ever that all five oracles have witnessed. All five of them saw it, and they described it. Maybe they didn't describe it identically, but they all
That's
described it.
extremely good, Sean. Oh my god.
And so it's like known as like the event, because it's the only one that all of them have seen.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm writing this down in our general notes. They have all seen the event, so they put it in quotation marks. Very cool. Yeah, I like it. And then, so with that, does someone else want to offer an idea about division and how it plays into it? Do you have an idea, Jen? For
Yeah, I don't yeah. I think as far as like our sort of base of operations, I think we actually have a base inside like a glacier in the Arctic Circle. And it's maybe not the only base, but I think it's the biggest base. Um,
cool. Wait, so it's Antarctica? Did I get that right?
Antarctica is cool. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, but did you say something else? I always mix up the.
No, it does not matter.
Jen, I love that so much. That makes
Um,
as a fire demon, that makes
oh, I
who's
didn't
trying
even think
to
about
who's
that.
trying to suppress her powers.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. As a demon who's trying to like suppress her powers, that's
Yeah.
like, I love it. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, very cool.
Definitely
Definitely a change of pace from where my character lives or like lives
Yeah,
life.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool,
Jamie,
super cool.
I have I'm gonna divert the stream for like 30 seconds here. There's a very easy way that you can tell which one's the Arctic Circle and which one is the Antarctic Circle. And that is Arctis is like a bear, right? And so the Arctic Circle is named for the circle with bears. The Antarctic Circle is named is opposite the circle with bears. And I'm not even joking, that's what they're named for. It's very good.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea it was that straightforward. Um, I like it. Very cool. Do we want to be with the bears though? I can change it to Arctic.
Um,
Do we?
both are cool, right? Like
Yeah.
there's like Svalbard in Norway that's like the seed vault, but also
Ooh.
Antarctica is also extremely cool.
Yeah, I
I
guess
just
my question is, do you want to have a polar bear that works at the division, like a
um
monster polar bear?
yes, I think I do. Is the
Is it your
thing.
secretary?
Yeah, he's the secretary. Let's
Mhm.
have it. I'm gonna look for a picture of an anthropomorphic polar bear now.
Amazing.
I love this so much. And like just him trying to type on the keyboard.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they had to make a separate keyboard for him because those claws.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Should I be surprised that it's so easy for me to find anthropomorphic polar bears? I thought it would be a little more difficult, but I should have realized the internet is the internet, right?
The fact that you didn't have to filter out like 97 sexy,
Yeah,
like sexy
mhm.
anthropomorphic polar bears.
That's
is
That's really the
actually-
noteworthy part.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these are sexy now that I think about
Okay.
it.
I mean, that's not necessarily bad, but
Yeah, yeah. It's just, the nature of the thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm spoiled for choice. I will come up with one soon. Okay.
I'm glad you're having such easy time finding like polar bear stuff. Well, I'm having a hard time trying to find like Aztec women that aren't like scantily covered.
It should
Yeah.
not be the case.
yeah.
It should not be.
Ah.
Yeah, it's so
Very
the
fair.
nature of
Luke.
things.
Luke just pointed out, very bold of me to assume that a bear secretary isn't sexy. You're right. Bear secretary can be just as sexy as I mostly mean just like anytime you look for something that you're like you don't mean it to be porntastic, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yes,
good point.
I'm down with sexy polar bear secretary.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
Very happy
damn.
with this
Okay,
idea. But
Morgan,
yeah, so
I'm gonna
Mhm.
paste your thing in the chat. Hang on.
Okay.
A second.
oh, did we find something?
I found something that's pretty damn cool.
I found like 5 so far that I'm like playing with, but I will see what Jen has and hopefully.
Cool. Very nice. Wow, they're really like I'm looking at tigers and pandas and
Sorry, Jen, I was just looking at animals now.
I think like a sexy dog. Anyway, so Morgan, what would you like to say about the
Apparently we need
division?
a penguin as well, so like
Oh, we do. I'm down with that.
so someone in chat's like talk to me about the penguin branch. So like
We definitely need to put in a penguin ranch now. So tell me about the penguins. No, but Morgan, whatever you want to talk about, we can add the penguins later.
But I think the way we get around is kind of like teleportation in a way. It's division magics. Maybe there's various like outposts or branches throughout the world that that's not our not where we usually base ourselves, but like we can easily, if we need to get around, we can just
Are there like gates between them? Like we step through a more electric portal and it pops out on the other side of the gate, or can we teleport anywhere?
I think it has to be a specific gate. Like you have to, if you want to go to this place, it has to be near this place, or else you can't get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like the division itself has like these regulations. Like, okay, cool, we have all these portals, but you have to like go to this portal, so we know where the heck you are, so you don't get lost in like interdimensional bullshit or something. Like, because maybe that happened in the past.
The gates are bureaucratic, right? Like there is
to fill
teleportation
paperwork
outside the gates, but the gates are what stop you from like disappearing.
Yeah, you got to fill the paperwork. Make sure you have your forms filled. It has to be the N43-C, not the -D.
Nice. And I mean, I assume that it's based on a precedent, right? Like people use the gates without authorized permission before, and like horrible things have happened. So over time, the bureaucracy around the gates has just gotten ludicrous.
Yeah,
Or at
and I don't.
least that's what we're told.
Yeah, and I like the idea of
Sorry.
that it could be. I like the idea of it's related to a monster's power, so it could be like a sleeping god that just dreams, and then we work through their dreamscape, and that's where the portals are. And then, so there's just this big place where the giant just sleeps, underneath the ice.
That's so
Like
good.
that.
So, and I imagined it would be easy for our found to just check up on them and say like, "How you doing?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. And I will offer. Don't worry, we'll get back to the penguins. But I also want to offer about the division that's true. I'm going to say the reason, aside from the polar bears, that it's in the Arctic, um, is because there's this huge underground city made of ice and glass. No one knows why it's made. Um, the only thing is that we know that these people who are supposed to live here are slightly bigger than us. Like it's off the scale. Like they're about 8 to 12 feet high instead. But everything was left completely pristine, like as if they just
Oh, they
vanished
just
or
disappeared.
they just disappeared, and we don't know what's going on. So the division was built there to try to figure out what's going on. Um, but yeah, and so every once in a while, someone will wander out of the place and join the division. So, but we still don't know the mystery of it. They're like, oh, I don't know. I was just a salaryman in Japan, and then I was here in this
Nice.
ice palace. I don't know what's going on, but now I have powers, so I guess I'm working for a division. Um, so now I have to put a salaryman. Like,
Yeah, we definitely need a Japanese salary man. Um, so Jamie, do we operate in the abandoned city? Is that our base of operations, or are we operating on the
ooh,
surface and we study it? Like, have we taken it
yeah.
over?
Yeah. I kind of like the idea that it's mostly around the surface of it, but I like the idea like a lot of it is like it's glass underneath, so like we can see into it in some places to see the city from above. Because there are cool places like that in Singapore, um, schools that are built like that. So I kind of like that idea, but I think there is one section that is open to everybody, and that's the library. So
Oh,
like
that's
there are all
cool.
these, yeah, there are all these books, but they're made out of glass and ice. Um, yeah. And so our penguin librarian is there assisting in every game of the division. I have to put in a librarian. Like I'm so, um, but yeah. So that's where our librarian is. Okay, yeah. I think that's we're good for. Ooh, I better write down everything I said. Not everything. Yeah. Okay. Uh, mysterious city of glass and ice. I'm going to put penguin librarian. It's very important. Okay, so for our first few scenes, I just like you to pick a place in the division. It could be something we established, or you could make something up. Um, like where we can usually find your character, or what your character is doing now in the division. If you want to interact with another PC, please feel free to ask them if they want to be in the scene with you. Um, but yeah, like who has an idea for something? Like maybe I'm like trying to read faces. I'm trying to use my psychic abilities.
I have an idea, but I have zero urgency, so I'm happy to.
Yeah, Jen, do you have an idea?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to think of what Civ would do, right?
Okay. Like, where does
And
Civ usually hang out in the
yeah, and
division?
I think the thing about Civ is that they just never want to sleep ever. Because like they're walking
Oh,
around and being among other people. And
mm-hmm,
I mean, maybe the people are monsters, but like I'm not picky. You
mm-hmm.
know, it's fine. So yeah, so I think my sort of thing is that I'm just walking around the place at all hours until I probably literally crash, right?
So what's the like place that you go at like 2 or 3 in the morning when like most
Yeah.
people are asleep that maybe somebody is still up or maybe you're alone in? Like where do you often go when like most people up are have
Probably
taken out?
like the sort of kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because anybody who's going to be up at that time is probably looking for coffee, and so I've learned that if I wait in the kitchen, I can ambush who's ever coming for coffee.
I love it.
Right. So, Siv, who is the one person in the division that you've been trying to get on the good side of, but
Hmm.
they just haven't warmed up to you? And it's obviously
Yeah.
not your fault, right? It's like
Oh,
something
clearly,
else.
no. I'm very warm, a person made out of stone. What are you speaking of? Um, I think I think there's a woman who is like middle aged. She's kind of short, but she's like tough, right? She doesn't take any bullshit from anybody. I don't know if she's like our boss or the whole boss or something, but I think she has some authority. And yeah, I want to be friends with her, partly because I think I want to be friends with everybody. But also because as far as I can tell, she's just a straight vanilla human, and I'm fascinated.
Cool,
She
cool. I put
sounds
a
like she might
uh-huh.
be like a quartermaster or some sort of
Yeah, maybe.
person who would like
Yeah.
maybe she's the person in charge of the gate paperwork.
Oh, I love
Like
that.
she's the one that
Yes.
stamps the approval on
Yes.
the
Uh-huh.
So she's literally a gatekeeper. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put that out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Mhm.
so I have a picture. If you don't like it, we can change it. No
Sure.
problem. But I went for like this middle age, no nonsense kind of look.
Yeah. Great.
So I think as you come in, so you're there. There's a coffee machine. It works most of the time. Half of the time, it gets possessed. It's very liable to be possessed by random things. You have realized, everybody at Division has realized by this point, the coffee machine is doing it on purpose. But right now it's working. It's working fine.
I
But
haven't
there are
realized it yet, is the thing.
But you see, like, there are all these runes and there are these sigils inscribed around the side to protect the coffee machine.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
From being possessed. And you see, let's go with, what pronouns are we thinking for our gatekeeper?
I don't have strong feelings. I was thinking she,
Mhm.
but it could be she, they. That's cool.
Yeah, let's go with she, they. And her name is, let's say, what does she look like? She looks like a, let's
Looks like a
say,
Mildred to me.
Yeah,
ooh,
I was thinking like
nice.
Agnes or something.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
I'm
it.
just have you seen those like contact heaters where like you put your hand on it and it doesn't generate any heat, but you put like your special mug down and it like boils the water immediately.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I've heard of those.
I'm just like imagining like one of these, but like a giant like bronze disc with all these runes in it that like both simultaneously heats the coffee, but also is like a ward against extra dimensional.
Even better. Yeah. And that coffee tastes
Amazing.
really good, right? That
It's
like
right.
sand heated coffee. So
Right,
definitely.
like when there isn't a demon plaguing it. Right?
Yeah,
When it
yeah.
doesn't give you hallucinations.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a sand demon, sometimes it's a fire demon, sometimes it's a warrior demon, one of those things. So Ma'am Agnes comes in. You're pretty sure they have a last name, but they've never deigned to tell anyone, outside of it. They see you and you see them go like, and they're just going to try to quickly move past you to get to the coffee. And they say politely, so unable to sleep again, Civ?
I mean, I had hundreds of years to sleep. I'd much rather be awake and interact with people like you.
Right. Interact. Yes. Have you tried reading a book? And you see them desperately looking towards the door, like inching their way towards it.
I mean, I have read some books. Is there one that you recommend? What's your favorite book?
And she looks a little affronted. And you can see her, like, her eyes dart towards the side. Like, for some reason she doesn't want to talk about what her favorite book is. And you see, like, she has like a messenger bag on, and you can see like there are a few books poking out of it, and she tries to hide them from you a little bit. And she's like, I mean, I mentioned books, but I don't really read them.
What do you have in that bag? What are those books?
And she pulls away a little bit, and then one drops out, and it's like one of those bodice rippers, like it's like Fabio's on the cover. It's one of those 90s ones, And she looks down at it. That must have gotten into my bag by mistake. And she picks it up. Here, for you. And she pushes the book towards you.
Yeah, I'll take the book.
And what's it? What are these like books called? I used to read them a lot before for fun. Let's just say that this one is called ooh, to really go with your character's name, My Dream Lover. Right. So
Love it.
just
Nice.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep. I love that
But
there are like 100 book titles that all sound like basically the same, and they could all have the same like Fabio shot on them, and it doesn't really matter.
Mm-mm.
and just to make it more progressive, there are three people on the cover instead,
Great.
right?
Yes.
So we have a
Yeah.
poly thing going on. There are two dudes, very happy, right? But of course, they're talking about manhood and womanhood and whatever, and something in between hood. We need a new word for it. Okay, so but yeah, and they push the book towards you, and they start trying to back away towards the door. So I'm sure you don't need anything else because we have nothing to do with each other. You weren't agents, and I'm a bureaucrat. So and they're going towards the door.
And I think I kind of like raise my hand, like I'm going to say something, and I think that's probably when I realize what's actually going on, because I think my thing is that I just don't read people at all. There's just subtext is just completely lost on me, and I've only now just realized that she doesn't want to be talking to me, and that's why she's running away from me. So I sort of take my hand back and close my mouth. And
yeah, do you want to use a little bit of
oh, I want to know her feelings. That's the thing I can do. I forgot about that.
No, that's fine. We could say that it's not a thing that's on all the time, right?
Yeah.
Also, are you feeling kind of frustrated that she doesn't want to,
I mean, I don't know that I would say frustrated. Maybe disappointed is a better word. Because yeah, she especially is someone that I have not been able to crack that nut. And yeah.
I think Jamie is trying to offer you darkness if you feel that this might be triggering one of your darkest triggers.
I see.
yeah, if you feel it applies. If not, because there are a few.
No, I don't think I'm frustrated. I think I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, no worries. It makes sense. But yeah, you're sensitive to surface thoughts and strongest feelings of those around you. If you want to just have that and not roll for the rest, that's totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we can also roll if you like. So, but I'll tell you what you're picking up already. Like as they're looking at you, you sort of get a fragment of a thought where she's thinking, I don't want to end up like the others when they get too close to these agents.
Interesting. Okay. I don't think I want to go any deeper on this. So I think I'm good.
Yeah. And then she looks at you and you can tell she's surprised, like she's not they're not gonna and then they're just like, if you like the book, don't tell me about it. And then they leave. But go ahead and take one bond with them. You can write it down in your bond section. So just get one for that interaction. And then, so how about, I like this picture Celine has.
Yeah, I found it. I dug.
Yay.
I did a deep dive into Pinterest. So that's what I was doing. So I was like, I
Good
don't want to
job.
go first. So
So cool.
it was on a Spanish only website, so it took me a minute to.
But yeah, do you have an idea for what Celine is doing? It could be around the same time. We said it was like 2 a.m. or it could be like further along. We could say it's morning or.
I would want to push it to morning, just because I think Celine does sleep. I think it may be just like morning rituals of like going to get a cup of coffee because it's way too cold here, and she it may be temperature regulated inside the building, but like just in her bones, she knows it is way too cold for this nonsense. So I think she's one of those people who's always wearing like a really thick sweater or a jacket inside.
Yeah, like covered in like all these layers.
Yes.
For sure. But yeah, what's an important part of your morning ritual that's hard to do here in this branch of division?
Oh, I think what she used to do before she became part of the division and moved here, or at least moved here in general, is that she would just take time to reflect by like, looking at the trees and like seeing nature. But here it's just white snow and nothing else. It's like a desolate, foggy wasteland. At least in her opinion. So
You just love it when we go on missions because
yes.
it's like,
oh god, we get to escape.
Yay, we get to get out of here.
Pretty much.
So true, so true. And there is a very excitable monster that lives out in the snow that's always happy to see you.
Is it like a
who
little
are they?
yeti?
Oh yeah, let's do a yeti. Let's do a yeti. Right. So why are you in the yeti clothes?
I think we're close because I can tell them stories about the tropicalness, and then like sometimes if we go on missions, I'll bring them back little trinkets and stuff. So, and I think they're just a really sweet being, and they our friendships are pretty. They're willing to give me company, especially on my sad day, especially when I'm here looking at the snow and be like, here again in this white wasteland. It's me in winter pretty much. This is why I can't move up north.
Winter the name of the Yeti?
Oh, it could be.
So
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Like it's me in winter and then you're
oh. Here I have
it's spelled with a Y.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a cute picture of one. What would I do without Pinterest? Okay, thank you very much, all these artists who make beautiful things.
Yes, thank you, artists.
Yeah, thank you so much. So winter.
They look so creepy on page, but they're really a sweet being.
They are, and I'm gonna say like they have these really big happy eyes.
Oh,
and when their fur sort of like shifts, you can hear the sound of the trinkets, like that they.
Oh, they put it on them.
Yeah.
I thought they just take it back to like their home and just like decorate, but no, they wear it. Oh.
And then so some like the first few ones you didn't think they'd wear, so like there's like a clock in there. There's like random things that should not be on a. But they're convinced like no, I'm supposed to wear these things.
Oh.
And then so they come close and then they knock on the window. Tuk 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 tuk, and their face is like, oh, hi.
I think because ritual of like must have a coffee, do a thing, and then hear the song. So it's like, oh hey, like just sort of like perking up as soon as I see them.
And Winter looks at you and says, been while since go out. Trinket, gift soon.
Soon, if I get if I've been, what am I trying to say? Hold on. Yeah, it should be soon. I think we have a mission coming up. Hopefully, I can go out and get you something.
And then they smile these like great big teeth. Like you can tell someone else might find it creepy, but it's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of teeth. And they say, oh, mission. Yes. Help prepare. And then they offer like to give you a massage, like their big fingers. They're like to help you relax.
Oh, thank you, but not now. And I'd point to my coffee and be like, this first.
And you see him kind of recoil. Ooh, the warmth. Like they go like, oh no. And they pull back and they go into this big ball of fluff. Wait here. Wait, yes.
Oh, I think one time, like just going back memory flashbacks. I think it was like one. What's the character's name? Celine was actually first getting used to the division, and like Winter was starting to come up and like talk. Just because thought she was being kind, she handed Winter a mug, and Winter's like, "Oh, drink," and it's like, "Ah, burn!" Like burn its little tongue on it.
So ever since then, it's like a cat that's like, oh no, that thing is bad. I'm never gonna go anywhere near it again.
Mm-hmm, pretty much. They're so cute.
Yeah. So, but they're very happy to hang out with you. And then you see them like stop, and they like cock their head a little, and they say, "Ooh, message, message," and they cock again.
Message.
Yeah, late, and that's when you realize that you're late to see someone. Who are you? Who's checking in on you from the division?
Oh gosh, I think it's gonna be whoever our higher up is. Like maybe it's just like how sometimes managers do like a one-on-one instead of like a group meeting. Like they'll do a group meeting and then they also do one-on-one to just check in on with you personally. So I think it's whoever's our manager, team lead, supervisor. I don't know what term you want to go with here, but
Our liaison.
yeah. Ooh, liaison's good. I like.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Right. And this is the nth time that you're supposed to see them, um, and and uh, and so Winter looks at you, looks at your coffee, and thinks, listens again. Say busy. Say later.
No. I'll go. I'm gonna go now. Thank you though. Thank you for letting me know. And she's gonna just take her mug and just like try to start chugging it without burning herself as she's running to the meeting.
And you see Winter go "Bleh," with their tongue, like, oh, that must be awful.
Terrible.
How did she put herself through that?
She must be suffering.
Yeah. Luke suggests that the bear secretary is our manager, which
Oh, even better.
Secretary Bear. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
opposed to at all.
Yeah. I like that
you.
a lot. Very cool. Yeah. So, we need a name for our bear. Can Chad come up with a cool name? Because like names are hard.
Names are hard.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was gonna suggest Arcturus.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a very strong
And
name.
that's way better than Mr. Whiskers. So that's all I had.
I had Ursu or Ursa.
Also good. Yes.
Very cool. Cool.
Luke
Yeah.
suggests Arthur.
Ooh. Yeah. I do like I kind of like the idea that it's Arctis, but then people like keep calling them Arthur anyway, like as one of those like refusing to pronounce names properly. If people are cool with it, because I know that's kind of
That's great.
Yeah.
Because that happens to me a lot. Okay, so Arctis is waiting. Ooh, I think I finally found one that I like, but open to changes. And so Arctis is there. I'm gonna say what, but we'll check in on our summon first. What is our summon up to? What is Ember up to?
I think she's pull back to
He's so majestic. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Yes, he's very majestic. Yeah, I think Ember is I think Ember is in the library because we need to feature the library. We need to feature our penguin librarian. And she is very, very carefully flipping through these books made of glass sheets, and they're inscribed. And I think you have to, I think that the tables that we have been specially outfitted to cast light through them. And so when you sort of put a sheet over it, it's like a projector screen a little bit. And the number of pages that you have open, they have layers. So if you have like one page, it's like sends like one image up through it. But if you have another one, then the white light that comes through gets refracted by the glass into different colors, and each maybe page is a color. And so like you get different images depending on how many pages you have folded sort of over. And it's like still a very like unknown, like we don't know the language, we don't really know what it is. We have fragments of understanding, but not anything complete. And I think she's there with our penguin librarian, because one of the oracles said something that made them think. There was something that reminded them. And Jamie, feel free to hint at whatever the mission is that we're about to go on, if that's relevant. But I think one of the oracles sort of said something that we have learned is like, oh, that's row 7, section D. There's books on that, and we sort of flagged some of the predictions based on some text that we've seen. And so she's sort of trying to like suss it out, but so far I don't think she's had much luck doing it.
Yeah, and then that's when you see like the librarian, they like have one big penguin eye on you, right?
Yeah.
And then they hide behind the shelf again, then they come back out. Do you need assistance?
I can't. I've been trying. I think maybe like the pages can like the pages aren't all fixed in place. Like maybe they like a binder snaps open. Maybe the pages can kind of come off. And it's just like I've tried ordering them using the the Epsilon ordering system. I've tried 6 or 7 different combinations, and I can't get a solid image that means anything to me.
And you see, like when you snap the binder, their face goes like, "Oh no! How could you? Not the binder!" And they come over and they whap your hands away with their flips, their flippers.
I promise I'll put it back in the right order. I just sometimes you need to take the pages out of order to get to decode the message.
No, order is important. Order is everything. Everything is order. And they start putting it, no. And they have like a very strong Chihuahua energy. Like they're very small, but they think they're very big, right? Like they look down at you through their beak, even though you're way taller.
Yeah. I'm sitting, so they could they
come up to your lap, like
right. And I just sort of like look, and my eyes just start glowing like more and more golden, and like it's not that my hair necessarily gets any hotter, but you start seeing the steam kind of coming off of it. And I'm just like, well, if you know the order of it, then explain. And she sort of slides the book ever so slightly in their direction, and see if you can make any sense of it. We need a name for this delightful creature.
Oh yeah, chat, do we have a name for our upset penguin who takes things way too seriously? Like beyond belief.
I mean, I kind of just want to call him Emperor because I know it's just a kind of penguin.
Maybe it's like Perry for Emperor for short. Like they go by Perry.
Yeah.
Oh, Perry is cute. Okay, I'm cool with Perry. But yeah, and so Perry squints, like their large eyes just need to go, and then they lean in closer, and they say, yes, of course. It's because you forgot your key. And then they start going through your stuff, like, and they start throwing stuff around at the back, like, no.
And I think we definitely have like a Yoda moment, like when Luke first meets Yoda, like, hey, stop it, those are my things, right? And she's going and like picking up random, mythical artifacts from other worlds that have just been casually tossed aside.
Like it's nothing.
It's nothing.
At one point, they pick up like what looks like a huge golden coin that was once paid to your people for them to protect the place, and they just go with their beak, and they throw it. No, wrong key. And then this
one of the 18 great debts I pay, a whole civilization represented by this coin, put back.
And you hear them say, demigods, like they're all the same. And then, but then they find it. It looks like it's kind of like a modern version of a key card. There's even a lanyard attached to it, but it gleams strangely in the light. And they pick it up, and then they tap, and they look, mission coming up. Yes, Oracle. Come. And they pull you towards, you can tell that they love this contraption so much. They created themselves.
Nice.
They think it's
like about to pick up this giant like sword with all of these like inscriptions and stuff on it, and like demons swirling around inside the blade. I'm like, yeah, I'll just get that later, I guess. No big deal. And I kind of head over to
And when the sword clanks, there's a sound of like, ah, like,
Right. Well,
That's
they
the
threw it,
reason.
right? I'm just like, again, I'm just imagining all my various artifacts that they've scattered, you know. But yeah, I follow.
for sure, for sure. And like and they're super proud of this a thing that they've constructed. You can tell it's from like abandoned parts, like different computer parts or furniture or whatever, but you realize
Sure,
it just looks like
those
a
good together.
really huge overhead projector. Like that's
Ah,
essentially what it
yeah.
is. But of course they don't know that. They think it's very original. So they push the pieces of the glass pages of the book. They place in your lanyard, like directly at the key card part right into it, uh, and then it flickers to life, and then that's when you see it starts to read the text from the library, and you can tell that it's translating it. It's starting to
Mm.
shift. The runes start to move, and the text shifts and expands until it starts to look like very sketchy outlines. You can tell that there is a volcano, right, and there's water underneath it, and you can see that there's a large creature of some kind that's sleeping away underneath it, and then you see the ships come, the boats come, and they poke and they prod at this slumbering creature that's hundreds of feet. It's about the size of the inside of this volcano, and at one point it wakes up, and there's this screeching sound, like a like a suggestion of the screeching silence that fills the library. As there's this rift that starts to open up, and then that's when our librarian Perry turns to you and say, "When the rift opens, things come through, things worse than you," they say.
I forgot a little bit of my like a bit of the immersion I had planned for this character. So I just sort of I look at Perry and I say, "There are not things worse than me," and I go back to I go back to pick up the sword of seven souls, and you know, and pre- get prepared for this mission that's we're clearly gonna be sent on soon.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I think that's when we. Oh, I forgot. Did I say that Celine got a bond with Winter,
Oh,
your
I
little
think you
Yeti?
said I was connected, but I don't think you said about anything about a
Yeah,
bond.
yeah. Go ahead and pick up on bond. Same thing for Ember and Perry. There is a bond. Perry
Yeah,
does worry about Ember, in their own way. They're not very good at expressing it.
yeah,
Um,
I was gonna
yeah.
say, I think I'm gonna take two darkness because I reacted with uncertainty or cowardice.
ooh, that's a
I
good
did
point.
that thing.
Yeah.
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 Ooh, I like it. I like it. Makes sense. Um, and then, uh, so we cut to your liaison, Arctis. Um, it's definitely their office. Unlike a lot of the other offices in the division, they are it's built into aspects of the city that's lost beneath the ice. So it's very cold in here. I expect that our fire starters are not super happy about how cold it is, but Arctis is quite happy here. You can see that they have a mishmash of a lot of things to make it homey. They have there are a few singing bowls on the side. They have a few shamanic drums that they're very happy about. They have all this. There's a huge set of blankets, but the other side is all like very businessy. Like this is where they have their meetings and they talk to people. And so Arctis turns to the three of you. Their eyes are very large and full of wisdom. They have a lot of serious energy about them. You forget that they're a polar bear, uh, and so Arctis turns to the three of you and says, "Yes, this was meant to be a one-on-one, but someone was late." And they raise a polar bear eyebrow at Celine.
Thanks, Celine like sort of bows her head and she's like, I'm sorry, I forgot that you scheduled a meeting so early in the morning. My
And
apologies.
and Arctis says, "Oh, you know how it is, and you know it's so early. The sun hasn't risen yet. Like, it's just over there. barely rising for your ritual, and
I feel sorry. I feel like Ember is she's just this over the top character, and so I'm just gonna start it immediately. I kind of forgot for a
go for it.
moment as we're like delightfully talking about the division, but Ember is just like she's sort of just this edgelord, and she just like in a moment she's at his throat with not the sword of seven souls, that's for serious business, but like still with this like big jagged blade that just sort of seemed to materialize out of nowhere, and she's like, speak the truth and only the truth, Arctus. If it is true that Celine has failed you and she should be punished, then have the bravery to administer that punishment directly and not hide behind these what do you call them, passive aggressive assertions. Tell us only what we need to know and nothing more. And then she like swishes back and the blade's gone. It like just disappeared out of nothing. The statement is there, but like the blade was just to make a point. It was not, she's never gonna hurt him. But yeah, she very much calls him and like reacts violently to something that should not be reacted violently to at all.
Yeah. So go ahead and take your tokens.
I will take my tokens.
Yeah,
yes.
and you can see Arctus is like, they're unfortunately used to it, but they still place a huge paw, like, oh, that reminds me, I need a shave. But yes, and they say, you are right, Ember. We should speak plainly, but do not worry, Celine. We will schedule for another time, but please make sure we take these things very seriously. We have your appraisal coming up soon, and I have people I need to report to.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I know it's that time of the year again. It's so early. It's hard to wake up here. It's so cold.
Ember nods like she's resolved this great division between like battling like a legion of armies on both sides, and she just like resolved the issue. She like takes in this thing of like, yes, I have done this. I have brought peace to this land.
Oh my
Just
God.
sort of like nods with this like this pleased look.
You're so ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I'm just
love it
if I'm
so
going
much.
too over the top,
I love
free.
it so much.
So good, so perfect. But yeah, and then so Arctus says, well, let's focus on the mission at hand. I have heard something that is most worrying. I thought we had more time, but that may no longer be the case. And they get up and then they start walking on all fours, they say, follow me, we must get you to the portal quickly. We have had our keeper take care of it, but you have everything with you, they say, raising an eyebrow. This is, by the way, the fastest you've ever been shoved off towards a mission. Usually you have more time to prep, there's usually more of a brief.
What is Arctus's surface thoughts or strongest feelings going on right now?
Yeah, you can tell that he is deeply worried. You can hear the echoing of a thought. Is this too much for my agents to handle?
Yeah.
I don't want anything bad to happen to them. Like that's what you pick up. Would you like to try to probe deeper, or you can ask him?
I don't think so. I'm curious if my fellow players will tell me their surface thoughts and strongest feelings, if they're willing, just for color. Mostly because I want to see what Ember has to say.
Yes. Good question.
Yeah, Ember's thoughts are: the sleeping giant wakes, the rift opens, the apocalypse is nigh. That's what's her surface thoughts.
It's great. Love it.
I compare to Celine, who's like, I need another cup of coffee before this.
Love it.
Why are we doing this now?
Like maybe we're feeling the burnt tongue through the psychic link. From forcing the coffee a bit.
Yeah, I don't get the deal why everybody loves coffee, because I actually don't think I eat or drink. Like I have a mouth, but I don't have a stomach. So like I don't get it. Why is everybody obsessed with coffee? I don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and so Arctus leads you through. You can see that Agnes is there she quickly joins you. As she walks through, there is a grand hallway where a lot of these portals are lined up one after another, but there is also like a desk where there is paperwork, where someone is there to make sure that only, people who are approved get to go through. But all the paperwork has been taken care of for you. And as you get closer, Arctis says, you are being asked to go to an organization that Division has close ties with. They are of course, I have to pull up the very complicated,
The giant acronym.
the super giant acronym.
Yes.
They are the Mechanized Youth Squad of Tactical Eschatological Research, Investigation, and Operations, a branch of United Security, otherwise known as Mysterious. So, and he turns and says, "You're headed to Island Zero." And I'm going to say, someone here, usually I ask a player, but I think it's quite connected to Celine. You know about Island Zero. That was the volcano that you were originally sacrificed at.
Do I know it by it being called Island Zero, or would I know by another name and not
another name for sure, like its original name?
So would Island Zero click anything for me then, or?
Yeah, I would say that the Division has kept you in the loop.
Okay.
About what Island Zero is. It's up to you how close those ties are. Like if you tell me that you were the liaison who kept going in and out for Island Zero when they needed something, it could be that close. Or if you could say they just let you know what is going on with the island.
I think they let me know what's going on the island because it's just a traumatic event that I don't think she really wants anything to do with it. So whenever Island Zero gets brought up, I think she just stops. And like everybody else keeps walking and she just stands there.
So we know this at this point that like it's an important, like everyone knows that, like it's a big deal for you.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, is it okay for us to react to that, I guess?
I'm gonna say, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, she's probably talked about it in passing, like how it's affected her, but like I don't know if y'all know like the level of how intense it is, like that. Yeah. So I think she just kind of I think I'm gonna do a thing where I get the tokens where it's like feel overwhelmed or numb, where like she just sort of just shuts down for a hot second.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ember walks over as soon as that says. Ember sort of looks over and sees you, and like Ember walks over, stands right in front of you, like in between you and Arctis, and she puts puts one hand on your shoulder, and she looks at you and says, "I will follow you to the gates of hell. I will be at your back when the apocalypse is nigh. When all is rent and we are nothing but atoms smote across the universe, I will still be at your side. I will not abandon you." And then just takes her hand off your shoulder and kind of goes back and stands at your side
again. So good.
I think Celine's used to this, but Morgan is.
I mean, it's not that uncommon. It's not like she doesn't say this every fucking mission, but like, nevertheless, I have to do it.
So good. So Celine, is Civ able to pick up at least what are they able to pick up with your surface thoughts and emotions?
So question, Civ, is it more like emotions and feelings that you pick up, or do you catch flashes of some people's memories or thoughts that go there, like images or like words? Or
yeah, I mean, I think it whatever is sort of at the forefront of your mind is what I pick up. So sometimes maybe you just have sort of a nebulous feeling and you're just feeling that feeling, and so I don't get specifics. But if you're thinking about a specific memory, I pick up at least part of that.
Yeah, I think you get the overwhelming fear.
Okay.
That picks up first, and then just flashes of like falling into the darkness and like bits of just falling in the darkness. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I think there's like a sense of like being pushed, right? And then, but it cuts really quickly. Like we just
I assume this is the dream you've had.
Oh yeah, it's probably been a dream. I've probably had this dream many times. Probably one of my one-hit wonders almost.
And I think as we see, it goes back to Celine's face. We see a little more of that. We see this beautiful face covered in paint, uh, and all these jewels around their neck. And as they push you, we hear them say, "I love you so much." And as everything starts to fade, but we don't get too much of what they look like. We can leave that for next time if you like.
Love it. Yes.
Could be
So
some
that-
shadows over the
Yeah, super dramatic. I like
Mhm.
it. And the glow of the volcano. Yes. Okay. So, and Arctis looks at the three of you, looks towards the portals, makes a sign towards our gatekeeper, and we can see that they activate all the protocols. Agnes shouts out what seems to be a random series of numbers and protocols, but everyone else responds. We can hear people shouting from the other portals, aligning portals, aligning ley lines. Yes, check 1, check 2, check 3, as all the portals start to line up, and the one in the front starts to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And we can see on the other side, there is this huge island full of lush vegetation, but the trees here are strange. They're really tall and they bend, and we can see that there are all these colors that move back and forth through them. We can see the inactive volcano all the way on the other side. We can see the barest glimpse of the wound that cuts through the sky, crackling purple and black. And we can hear the screech of a huge colossal monster as it breaks through the trees and starts running towards the rift, and 2 other huge monsters rise with them. We can see one of them looks like a large black cat that has these thick tentacles and acid coming out of its teeth. We can see the other one looks like something between a lizard and a spider, the best parts shoved together, just crashing through the trees, ripping apart, going towards the rift. And we see that the last monster moves quickly, like it's surrounded by bolts of lightning. As it moves, it's hard to see its body completely, but there's ice and fire coming out of it. And then that's when you hear the siren klaxons of the rift is opening. A monster has come through. A rift monster. Halimau, activate. And then that's where we're gonna end the session, I think, right before you get through. Yeah. So we'll see what's waiting for you on the other end. I'm super, super excited. But before we get into it, I'd love to get into our stars and wishes for everybody, just to make sure we're gonna like hit the ground running next time. So I'd love to go in. Let's go in reverse character keeper order. So let's start with our found. Sivs, what are your stars and wishes, Jen, for this session?
Yeah, so my wish is that Civ gets more interaction with Ember. My headcanon was that Civ is just fascinated with on fire hair. So at any point Civ isn't talking, just assume she's staring at Ember's hair. She's like lost in that fire. Yeah, for stars, oh my god, like the whole thing, like everything. Ember is amazing and I hate her, and also she's wonderful. Yes. I love winter. It's great. I love all of it.
Oh yeah, we need a team name, I realized. Like maybe
Oh,
we
Oh
should-
yeah.
Yeah, maybe like an ice monster or something, or an ice legend. I have to think about, or maybe fire, because we have like a few volcano fire people. We will think about it. But yeah, no pressure. Yeah, very cool, very cool. And then Morgan, what are your stars and wishes?
My stars is definitely Amber's intensity. That's just, yeah, that's just. Wow. I was just like, I was not prepared for this character, and yet I love it, and I'm here for it. I wishes. I'm gonna say I'm excited to dig into everybody else's like stories as well, and see what we can like dig up in their history. doing this.
Cool, absolutely. Actually, when you're making a character, you're talking about a volcano. It's like, oh, I already have a volcano in this mystery. It's meant to be.
It's perfect.
We are psychically linked. So I'm super happy about that. Yeah, and then Shaw, what are your stars or wishes?
Some of my stars, Jen, I absolutely adore that you are a statue that was found, that's been given life and that was found underwater, and that you spent all this time in dreams. I also am really excited about us having more interactions. Trust me, the moment you say anything, I will react very profoundly to it. I think Ember's a very reactionary character. Like, I don't know that she initiates a ton. Maybe she does. I don't know. I feel like she has very strong reactions to everything. And so, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, I love as soon as you said like I'm a statue and then covered in barnacles and the water is so good. And Morrigan, I absolutely dig the tonal difference between Amber and Celine. I love that you're like, I need coffee, and I'm like, the gates of death are upon it. It's like, it's just so fun for me to have those.
She's like, she's too early.
Too early in the morning for the apocalypse, Amber, right? Like,
give me an hour.
Yeah. So I just, I think, and I'm super excited about this being, the volcano that you've come from, and yeah, there's lots of things, Jamie, that you've sort of tied to our characters already. That is absolutely lovely. As for wishes, I definitely want more opportunities to be overly dramatic. I definitely want opportunities to profess my undying love for just like maybe the smallest reason. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but like I'm pretty sure at this point that and also to sort of be tempted by the darkness, to feel that like this time here I have is fleeting, and that someday I'll have to return to my throne. And I kind of want to see all. I don't know. I think I want to see all of the characters and their the darkness tempting them. Maybe in particular, your creator, Jen. I want to know who made Civ.
Right?
Yeah.
I only realized after the fact that like to meet your maker is like a euphemism for death, right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
no, I actually want to know who made me. Like, they must answer for this.
It could be both. Who knows?
That's
so
true.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot. How about you, Jamie? What are your
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So big stars for everybody going along with my NPCs. That was very cool. Big stars for letting us have a polar bear be the liaison. That's very, very good.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for all the support and ideas.
Super, super good. I really love what we have going with our divisions so far. Each division has been super, super different. So I'm really happy with how that's going. And I'm really glad that we're going with this mystery that I wrote over 2 days in a migraine haze, because I was like, Evangelion, Pacific Rim, but like with hearts. Or something. Anyway, but I'm really excited to get into it with everybody. And aside from that, I think I really love all these characters. I feel like they're very strong already, even though I know that we're going to discover more of them as time passes. I think what I liked was when Sean was like, wait, I'm going to go back into character. Rah, 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 rah. I was like, so good.
I sort of so like, good. Yeah. Maybe I only talk that way with Perry for some reason. Maybe only with Perry am I not. Oh,
that would be intense. So cute. I would like that. That'd be so funny. Like, no one knows why.
They just catch you off guard and you're so like vulnerable in the library. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Maybe Perry is more intense, right? Like, so I will do that. But yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is a really fantastic group of players. I'm so happy and honored and feel really lucky to be able to run Apocalypse Keys for everybody. But yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, well, let's do our outros. Everybody, we'll be back in 2 weeks and to jump on our first mission, which I'm super excited about. Tomorrow, because on Thursday we missed Stars Without Number, so tomorrow we'll be playing that around the same bat time, same bat place. So if you want to join us for Star Wars Without Number, and yeah, we've got a bunch of new shows on the stream. Rebel Crown, this Five Fires, and Sundo, Once We're Immortal, which is coming up soon. So I'm excited about all that stuff. I'm Sean Nittner. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner, and I love playing and making games. So yeah, I'm jazzed that we're doing all that. How about you, Jen?
I am Jen Martin. You can find me on Twitter at 10penjen. Yeah, you spelled it with one N.
I didn't mean to. That was a keyboard malfunction.
The cardinal sin.
That was the second N not going through. I promise.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I want to recommend, if you haven't listened to it, listen to the Hard Move with Jamie about this game. It's amazing. And Sydney also is wonderful. And yeah, Morgan, what about you?
Hi, I'm Morgan. You can find me on the socials at Serena Bezos. I had an absolute blast with this. I can't wait for 2 weeks because I'm excited to see where this goes. You can find me on Utopia TV, where I do play in Kahania, which is a quest, the quest system in a Sarzamine setting, which is designed by Miriam. You can find me on a podcast with the Roleplay Network on Powered by the Players, which is a Powered by Apocalypse podcast. So I'm glad I'm playing this now. So when I run it, I know how to actually run it. like you should, instead of sometimes where I'm like, I've never played this. Let me just run it and see how this goes.
Which can also be cool, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I do that a lot actually. But yeah, I like games. I'm here for gaming. Yeah. Jamie. Hi.
Yes. Hi. So I'm Jamie, they them pronouns. And so yeah, I made Apocalypse Keys to help me get through 2020. So all of that, my love, is in this game. I'd be super happy if you could check it out. If you listen to the Hard Move podcast, the episode where I people tell me I did well, I don't know, on the podcast, you can get a discount for Apocalypse Keys. So that's something to check out for sure if you listen to the episode. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I use a lot of Sailor Moon GIFs and talk about games. I'm at Temporal Hiccup, TEMPORAL Hiccup. And you can find me on itch.io with the same username. I have a lot of games there. I've slowed down, I promise. It's only one new game every 3 months. So yeah. And but if you Apocalypse Keys is currently in beta. I'm working hard on playtesting it. I've been playtesting it for the past few months. I continue to work on it. So if you would like to support me, please check it out. But you can also check out my Patreon, where I release my in the middle of designing stuff, because even though I don't release stuff every month, I still work on stuff every month. So you can find it there. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I had a good time with everyone.
All right. We'll see y'all soon. Take care.